Hi, my name is Luis Rodriguez from F Block about deadlines questions. Number 1. What do you think about Ben's decisions to keep his diagnosis from family and friends? What I think about this is sometimes it may be hard to tell your friends that something is going on, but there's only one thing that can help you. Many times if you tell your friends or family, anybody that you know you can trust, it will help you. You will be freed. Even you will be helped, just like Ben. Ben was going through his hard times because he had blood disease, but probably if he told his family and friends, his friends and family would help him. But since Ben didn't tell anybody, nobody knew about him. Also, what would you want a friend or a family member to tell you if he or she was given Ben diagnosis? If a friend or a family member of mine was going through the same diagnosis as Ben, I would want them to tell me everything they would trust me with, because it would be hard to trust, but maybe I can help them out in anything. Even I could help them out if they need to do a blood test or whatever they need to do. Just like Ben, if he would have told somebody, maybe one of his friends or his family members would pay anything, would do anything just to save his life. Also, what do you think you would have done if you were in Ben's position? Explain. If I was in Ben's position, I would tell my family and friends. It would be hard for them, but it would also help them, because they would help me try to get the exit out of this solution. And it would be hard because they wouldn't want to see a family or friend die of theirs. But if I was in Ben's position, I would truly tell them everything that's going on, what the doctors told me, everything, because maybe one of your friends or family members could help you out. Just like Dallas told Ben everything about her uncle. She helped him. Ben tried to help her out. Question number 2. What do you think people fear about death? I think people fear about death is that they don't know the time or place or anything when death is about to come to them. People fear death because they don't know what death is like. They don't know what experience it is. Just like Ben, he didn't know what death was. All he did was wait for his death, but he wasn't really scared. What he was scared about was telling his family and friends. But mostly people fear death because they know that death is not good. Everything, either way, if it's not today, tomorrow, one of these days, everybody will face death. Also, why is death difficult to talk about? Death is difficult to talk about because nobody knows how it feels to pass through death. Also, it is difficult because it hurts when somebody you know that you love goes through death. It's hard to talk to them about death because maybe it will remind you of somebody that was very close to you that went through death. Also, death shouldn't be difficult, because sooner or later everybody's gonna go to heaven or hell, but only God knows where we belong. Only God knows what we have done. Only God knows our hearts, what we plan to do on this earth, on this life He gave us, because He created us. It would be hard for us. It would be hard for many, but for many of them, death isn't painful to them because they know they did the will of God. Question number 3. Who do you think Jesus is? I think Jesus is probably somebody that helped Ben that was going through hard problems, probably his God or something. Only the author knows who Jesus is, because Jesus would probably be one of his persons that helped him. It could be someone that we don't know. It could be probably the author's helper. But I think Jesus was probably a close friend of Ben, or probably Ben's God, or something like that. What does Jesus do for Ben? Jesus helps Ben a lot, because every time Ben was going through, Jesus would always help him, give him courage, give him the strength, give him those words to keep him alive. Even though he knew he was going to die, but Jesus would always help him out anytime. Question number 4. Ben starts a campaign to name a street in his town after Malcolm X. Do you agree that this street name would be appropriate in an almost exclusively white town? Who would you like to see a street named after in your town, and why? It probably will be a good place to name a street Malcolm X, but it all depends on the people that live there. If the people that live there don't know Malcolm X, they would probably say, who is Malcolm X? Why did they name the street like this? Where did he come from? Who is he? Why didn't I ever meet him? But if I had to choose to name a street, I would name it whatever it has to be, because it doesn't matter what streets are named of. What matters is you remember that person, and if you remember that person you really loved will always be remembering you wherever he is. Also, what barriers might stand in the way of making this happen? There would be many barriers that would stand in this place, but the most point is that people that didn't like that person would be the barriers of this place. Probably because they had anger, probably that person wasn't trying to be better than them, but the other persons would take it wrong, and they would be jealous or something like that. But other barriers that would be from happening to the name street would be the persons that didn't even know the person that would be named the street, because as well they don't know who it was, where he came from, or they didn't even know why they named that street. Because sometimes I'm walking around looking at street names, but I wonder why they named that street like that. It's all depends on the people that name it. Just like Ben wanted to name the Malcolm X, but he named it because that street reminded him of something. That street had memories. That street would remind him everything from that person. And that street would help him, encourage him to what was happening to him. Question number 5. Ben shouldn't have been as good at a runner as he was because of his height, and he shouldn't have been as good a football player as he was of his size. What do you think makes a good athlete? About this question was, I don't think nothing makes a good athlete. Anybody could be a good athlete. Tall, skinny, short, chubby, whatever size you are, whatever shape, it doesn't matter what you are. But one thing for sure, anybody can be an athlete. No matter what, everybody has a talent, because God gave everybody a talent. No matter what, everybody has a gift from God. I would think Ben, just like Ben, people would or make fun of him of his size and shape. But once Ben started playing in that football team, Ben showed every one of those, because just like in the Bible, David and Goliath, David beat Goliath with just a stone pebble. It doesn't matter if you're short or tall. Ben was short, but he would win. He would have courage. He would keep on going on. It doesn't matter what size or shape you are. All that matters is that everybody's a good talent. Everybody has a good talent. Everybody can be an athlete no matter what. And this was my questions and my answers to deadline